Hello, my name is Stuart Howard. I am a nurse practitioner student here at Youngstown State. I am here with Deb Gardner. We are here to do a interview so that I can show that later I will understand what the role is for the nurse practitioner. Can you just state your full name and
Sure,
also your specialty?
sure. My name's Debbie Gardner, Deborah Gardner professionally. Um, I am a nurse practitioner for about 15 years. Currently, I'm working at Urgent Care here in Columbus, Ohio. So I am operating from more of an emergency medicine position at this particular point. And there's many times I'm the only provider, so we don't have a physician. It is just me and you sometimes operating an urgent care center. So that's currently what I'm doing. Yes.
All right. So you've already told me about yourself, and you saw a little bit about your position. Can you tell me just about your specialty? Like, what are your credentials?
Sure. I have a family nurse practitioner um, uh, credential for a nurse practitioner. So I went back and got a master's of science in nursing, and then followed more of a family medicine um, teaching so that I could sit for those boards.
Okay.
So that's my credential is an FNP.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just for the record, can you tell me where you did your undergrad?
My undergrad was at Youngstown State. That was back in 1979 to 81, and went to Youngstown State for my associate degree in nursing.
All right. So
Yes.
we have an alumni here with us.
Yes.
All right. So do you see the advanced practical registered nurse influence today's healthcare system? If so, how? And if
Yeah.
not, why not?
Yeah, that's good. I definitely see how nurse practitioners are changing our practice. You know, we're at this point in medicine that nurse practitioners are going to likely be the main source for family medicine. Um, Most physicians are retiring, and new ones are not choosing family medicine for the most part. So, by nature of our training in family medicine, we're geared. Our undergrad was very much geared towards that whole person, you know, not just looking at disease processes, but mental health, mental well-being, as well as addressing those disease processes, how we can help patients know them and take care of themselves throughout that. So we are perfectly poised to take over that, you know, family medicine role. So it's exciting to me. So
Wow,
yes,
that is amazing, and
yeah,
I'm glad that that is where I want to be
Yeah.
when I grow up to be a
yeah.
advanced practice registered
You
nurse.
are right at the very perfect time, because you're going to be very much valued in this. Yes.
All right. It says, what are some of the barriers that the advanced practice registered nurses face?
Sure. One of the main barriers is the fact that we can't practice autonomously. So we do need to have that collaborating physician that I'm going to say the word oversees, but it's not necessarily that they have to say to us, you know, yeah, you can do what you can do, although that's part of it. Because there are some things that we shouldn't be going in the direction. Or, you know, it basically is if your collaborating physician is okay with that and you've been trained, then you're going to be able to do it. Um, so you have to make sure that your collaborating physician is knowledgeable in the area that you want to be in. And I see out west more of those nurse practitioners having full autonomy. And that's because, like in rural areas, there aren't as many physicians, and they need to have that autonomy to be able to practice. And I think that it's eventually going to be everywhere. Ohio is typically pretty good at leading those kinds of progressive ways that we could practice. We're definitely ahead of some other states for sure. So that's, I think, the biggest barrier. Of course, we live in Columbus, Ohio, So we have a lot of physicians in this city, and that's somewhat of a barrier, honestly, in this particular area. If you go into a rural area, your barrier is going to be finding a collaborating physician. So there are some, I think it's gotten immensely better over the last 20 years. But you're still, especially if you're rural, you're going to find some walls up.
Do you think that will happen sooner, just or late? Do you think that will happen
Yeah.
within the next 10 years, the next 15 years? Just
I-
your opinion on that.
I think it's going to probably happen within the next probably 10 to 15 years. I do see Medicare services, what they call CMS, making some changes that are allowing nurse practitioners to do more things. And it seems like when they make changes that allow us to do more things, then the rest of like insurance companies and states can follow that. CMS is, our billing also can be potentially an issue where we get 85% of what a physician would be billed at. So that's another somewhat barrier. And I do think some of those, because they're seeing rural places people not having access to care, and that's slowly changing. So everybody else kind of follows them, and I think the government's probably going to get there. They're slow, but I think I see it moving in that direction.
Okay.
And I would say within the next 15 years we should be. Of course, we've been saying that for a long time. Yeah. So, but we have to rely on, certainly people in the legislature, helping to make our lawmakers understand of what we do and our competency. And so, that's where that's at.
So, yeah, you've touched on some of the legislature and some of the rural areas. So, what specific things would you like to see change for the advanced practice registered nurse?
Yeah, I think the main thing is going to be not needing a collaborating physician. If we make sure that our nurse practitioners come out understanding how to operate in a family medicine environment, how to bill, those things are, you kind of learn on the job, and you come out knowing those things, it's going to make that transition to being able to just put up a practice someplace where access is needed. That's the first step, really. That's the huge step, to be able to get us in places where people need us.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think that we as young nurse practitioners would probably just have to get more involved so that our legislature would understand, the things that we actually need so we can practice autonomously.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you got it.
So Deb, I'd just like to thank you for this interview. Thank you for taking your time out for today and doing this for me. And we appreciate that.